now I'm going to introduce another guest. That is Klein, Pickleball and Padel business consultant. And I have a very important question for you. Padel and pickleball, no? But in the US, perhaps I have to say pickleball and padel. Why? Why, or how they can interact? How pickleball, or why? But my question is, why pickleball is so famous and so practiced in the US more than padel? Please tell us.
Selena, again, thank you very much for having me. And the show has been spectacular, certainly beyond my expectations. It's been fantastic.
Thank you.
Very, very good job by you. The question is interesting, and the reason that I position myself as I do is that pickleball and paddle are inversely related. Whereas, you've got pickleball in the United States, which has somewhere between 19 and 40 million players, depending on who takes the survey. And paddle is exceptionally small, maybe 100 or 200,000 players. Conversely, in Europe, you have the other extreme. You have maybe 20 million paddle players and a couple of 100,000 pickleball players. And so for me, being in the pickleball space in the US, I coach and I work with companies that are trying to scale their revenue. Paddle is a natural opportunity. They can bring paddle into their pickleball club and they can diversify their product offering. They can probably attract a younger demographic. Pickleball is still perceived kind of as an old person sport in the space. The younger people play, but my personal experience is that when younger people play paddle, and I play paddle, they like the pace of paddle. It feels more like tennis. Paddle would feel more like tennis, whereas pickleball, I often say, feels more like table tennis or ping pong. So from a club standpoint, you can introduce paddle. You can do it relatively at a low cost, and you diversify your product offering. So I think, and then back to your question about why did pickleball grow so quickly, the answer is anybody can play. I work trade shows like this, and sometimes we'll run these pop-up events, and when we do, we can teach 100 people a day to play pickleball. I often say I can teach someone to play pickleball in 20 minutes. And so you can pick it up, and you can play very quickly, but it takes a long time to develop the skill.
More accessible.
Very accessible.
In terms of
yes.
Less technical than paddle, perhaps.
Most definitely, but it still takes a great deal of skill and determination to get past the midpoint. To get good, you really have to apply yourself.
And are they in the same sports club? So do you find, for example, in the same sports club, pickleball court and paddle court? And so, for example, do you have any player that play both of these sports?
So it's limited. It's actually something that I track. So when I started tracking it a year ago, there were very few combined clubs. You had a lot of pickleball clubs. There's more than 10,000 pickleball clubs in the US. Almost none of those had paddle. But the trend of late is that when new pickleball clubs are being developed, they're taking paddle into consideration. And so now I can track 30 or 40 or 50 clubs that I know about that offer both sports together. And so they're certainly coming together going forward because paddle is achieving some recognition in the States. And now during the building process, they're considering that.
Great. And who in terms of target, in terms of players' target, are most adults or young people that practice paddle and pickleball in your market?
So the pickleball clubs are very diverse. By skill level, you'll find everything from 10-year-olds or 12-year-olds with their families up through 70 and 80-year-olds playing, and they'll have open court situations. A typical large pickleball club can have 15 to 20 courts, and they'll stagger the courts based on maybe skill level and perhaps even on age. But so it's really across the board. With paddle, my experience is, again, a bit of a younger demographic will be playing.
Thanks, it's interesting, and I'm thinking about that also because in Italy, for example, it's completely different, no? But why not?